And we are live. Welcome to today's live stream where Randy and I are going to be talking about SEO controversies or controversies within the SEO space. I've got a cough and everything.
You're losing a lung over there.
Yeah. But before we do that, please do check out channel sponsor. The news guy, logo's above, his face is in the middle, and the link is at the bottom. So check him out if you're interested in PR, digital PR.
Yeah, digital PR.
Yeah.
Press releases. Getting you everywhere.
Got other stuff going on as well. You'll be able to help with anything you really want. And it's always good to know these guys. He's a man of many skills. That's it. That's the promotion over. But
there we have it. All right. Here we go. How we doing? I hope everybody's doing well. Craig and I were just talking about how just tired. I'm like, it's Monday. It's end of March. It was snowing here this morning. I'm just like, it feels like it's 6 o'clock at night is like how dark and cloudy it is here.
We just need some fucking sunshine and daylight. I went to Lithuania last week. As I was saying, it was fucking colder there than it was here.
Where were you?
Lithuania. It's right next to Russia. But it's
I don't know that. Lithuania.
Lithuania. It's all part of the old Soviet Union. It's next to like Belarus and stuff right next to Russia.
All right.
When I was flying in, Randy, we're flying over these lakes, and the lakes were fucking frozen over. It was proper. They had a proper rough winter, and it's still going on. And I'm like, oh, maybe Scotland, for all the moaning I do, is actually not that bad. So
I don't know. That just seems like that's going to still be cold up there.
Yeah, it is very much so. Even I'm sitting there and I'm like, what are you doing, Craig? Like, what's happening here? What made you come here?
Well, you were there for a conference, right?
Yeah.
How was it? What was the conference? And then who was there besides you? And any good shit drop?
I don't know about any good shit dropped. There was some good speakers there, but I don't listen to them, so I couldn't say whether they dropped good, bad, or indifferent. But it was a new conference that was out there, and I met a guy at a different conference, and it was his first one in Lithuania, first international SEO conference out there, and yeah, it was lovely people, great place, and. Do you know, Tommy, you say that Tommy Butler says it's roasting, and Joe is saying just go to Croatia.
Where's Tommy Butler? Where is he?
Tommy's from Glasgow, right?
Oh.
So when I was in Lithuania, it was significantly colder than it was here. I had people from Glasgow messaging going, the sun's out, it's 14 degrees, 15 degrees when I was fucking over there. And I'm over there freezing my fucking balls off again. So every time I leave Scotland, the weather seems to get better. And now that I'm back, apparently it's taking a downward spiral again, and we've got cold and snow coming back towards the end of the week. So maybe it's me.
That's, yeah.
But no, conference was good turnout. There was some good speakers there. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Lithuania is actually a really nice place, very welcoming people. So I actually agreed to go back next year, there and then. So the guy's like, you've done really well, as I would always expect anyway. But he's like, can you come back next year? And I'm like, absolutely. So I'll be back there next year as well.
Nice.
So get going. It's a place to see. Another one off the tick list, Randy.
Yeah. I gotta get out to some of these other kinds of conferences.
Well, here's the thing, Randy.
Yeah.
A lot of people assume that a place like Lithuania is I'm laughing at Tommy's comment there. I think you should move overseas for a few months so you get some good weather. I wish I would move away as well, Tommy.
I know it.
But I was over there and I was approached by a company who said, "Can you come in and talk to our staff and our team and all that?" And the company was none other than NordVPN, who are based in Lithuania. And by the way, I think I put a picture up in my Facebook. Or what a fucking office! They've got this place called Cyber City, 5,000 staff, and what a fucking office! They've got a bar in there. They've got a gym. They've got a music room. Dude, never seen an office like this in my life. But again, subconsciously, you go over there and you're automatically thinking it's all fucking Eastern Bloc, old, shitty stuff or whatever. Couldn't be so fucking wrong. Could not be so wrong. So I've come back with new motivation to get myself an office like that. So I need to do something because, dude, they had this. I went in and I said, "This place still smells new. Is it just opened?" And they're like, "No, that's the perfume machine, spraying out."
Like the new car smell. Yeah. They've got that like pumping through the filtration system.
And I said, "Fuck, it's a big difference from my office where you go in and you can still smell people's breath and farting and fucking." I'm roughing it over here, man.
You can get those, $3 air fresheners. You just plug into the outlet and you probably get a nice smell.
Yeah, I maybe need to invest in something like that. But Tommy's got a question for you.
I get it. Hold on a second. Can you hear this music in the background?
Nope.
Oh, that's good. All right. I got my background. In my office, I have overhead background music that's always playing. And so I'm like, I forgot to shut that off. And
I can't hear nothing, man, which is probably just as well, given your taste in music. But Tommy's saying AI and AI agents, what's the take on it? He is loving it. What's your view on AI and no? What do you mean no?
Maybe he was answering my question about the music as well.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. That's what it'll be. I was going to say, what do you mean no, Tommy? I've asked that question correctly. What's your view? What's your take on AI and AI agents? Because you're loving it. I know just from obviously speaking in the mastermind and stuff, I know a lot of people are very interested in AI and AI agents. But what was your overall take on it? If you used AI or an AI agent for your day-to-day running of your business, Randy, like literally where you can say,
no.
No,
I have not. I mean, obviously we use AI, we use LLMs, and I've built like a number of different apps that we use internally for different kinds of things, but not just to like wholeheartedly run elements of our business. No.
So that's kind of my take on it, Tommy. A lot of people are playing around with it, and you've got Claudebot or OpenClaw or whatever the fuck they're calling it this week, and people are saying they're doing this, doing that. My question to anyone is, what are you doing that saves time and makes money using that stuff? And I think it's still in its early stages where you can go and get deep into OpenClaw and then find out that something else comes out in 8 weeks' time that kind of rules that one redundant. So I like AI agents. I like the way it's all going. I love playing with stuff. I love blowing it all up. But I think you need to be careful of what rabbit holes you're going down, because no one has ever shown me an AI agent or an AI process that literally just prints money like that. And that's all obviously what we all want to be doing. So yeah, I still think it's early stages, and I'm careful now in terms of what rabbit holes I go down, because I've spent the last 18 months going down all these rabbit holes, and I'm still no fucking further forward. So
you don't have the fancy office.
I need an AI agent that can make the smell in my office a bit better, if that's possible. go and buy me some stuff. And by the way, I can hear your music now, Randy.
Now you can hear my yacht rock music. I listen to jazz. I'm a jazz fan, so. But I was wondering about that. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. I shut it off.
But yeah, it's so anyway. SEO controversies before we get
SEO controversies. I got a list that I put together actually, and obviously we'll take them from the audience. So if you guys could throw them in the chat. So this is kind of a two-pronged. So get your idea on this, because this actually is what spurred me to even think about this topic, was because we're having this conversation in our group chat about AI content. And so a two-pronged question in regards to kind of controversy. One, is AI content a shortcut or a long-term risk?
I would say long-term risk. Obviously, like you say, there's a lot of people who debate this and stuff, but I think it's only a matter of time before you get clapped for it. Google may not be able to keep up with the volume or speed or whatever that you're doing this stuff at, but I think they will be able to clap.
Really? Do you think they will?
I'm not saying they absolutely will.
Like content, like article content.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is, Randy, for me, over the years, people always argue, that like Surf for SEO, for example, since 2018 had been looking at on-page content and it's saying you must write 1,800 words for that keyword in that area with these subheadings and this and that and all of these semantically related keywords. Now, if everyone was just to match that, then I feel that you're not really adding more value to the internet. You're not doing anything that's different. You're just following the trend of what everyone else is doing. Is that likely to work for the longer term? I don't know. I just have a feeling that there's potential long-term risk in it because Google's biggest cost is information retrieval. So trying, and Joe says over 75% of Google is AI content. So good luck with that. The information retrieval costs and the indexing costs and everything else goes on to Google. They're having to actively look for ways to get rid of that because it's going to their costs are going up, and the speed of what us as marketers are doing all of that stuff is getting out of control. So
I don't know. I just think there's so much of that. To Joe's point, there's so much of that content that's out there, and it's been out there for like how many years? 5 years now. That all of the AI, content writers have been. I just don't. I think the horse is out of the barn so far. You're not pulling it back in.
I hope you're right. I really fucking hope you're right. But there's just always in my head where you're always just like, you're going to get fucking slammed. You're going to get slammed. You're going to get slammed. So
now to put a twist on this, and this I think it's going to be more on the video side. I do think that original content will get more favored. I think it'll have a higher priority. I don't think that AI generated content is going to get clapped, but so I think that they'll just be, if it's original, I think it'll get a higher ranking rating.
Tommy's saying he's finding that Google is giving his sites all green stats, and being dyslexic, he is using ChatGPT probably quite heavily and translating to different languages and everything else. Tommy's in about tons of websites, and I can see why Tommy might be excited. by that. But
Yeah.
fingers crossed, you know, I think the thing is, you know, if you can get away with it and you can make money and stuff like that, obviously you want to be doing the work faster and better and quicker and all that kind of stuff. So it's all that's what it's all about. And you may, you know, people like me are going, I'm not going to hammer it out yet. And you know, I'm also not a fan of the AI videos because I just think authenticity for what I do is going to win the longer game. Certainly from a video perspective, but you know, I just think it depends on what market you're in and what country you're in, and there's so many other variables. But it's a changing world, and maybe I'm just an old dinosaur who's like, no, you can't get away with it. But there's so many times, Randy, you sit there and you're like, should I do this? Should I not? And you deliberate, and then before you know it, 5 years down the line, you're like, bastard, I could have made 5 million quid doing that. You know, there's a window of 5 years where you're going to get away with it, or whatever it may be. So I think it's always wise to try and test and see how far you can push the boundaries and how much money you can make from it. And do you know what? See, if you did get clapped, you probably made a fuck ton of money. Just make sure you diversify your income streams and invest in other things. So, you know, that's kind of how I look at it. Where you're like, in the back of my head, I'm like, are we going to get caught? Listen, that's always been in my head from an SEO perspective. It's only a matter of time before Google slaps us, whether it be backlinks, whether it be whatever. You're just like, this cannot go on forever. Google are going to catch up and hammer. You know, there's just always that thing in the back of my head where you're like, I'm going to get fucked for something. They're going to trip me up somewhere. They're waiting.
You're just waiting to get caught.
Yeah. Dude, I still pinch myself just now. This is the honest truth. You know, I still pinch myself going, I can't fucking believe that I've somehow managed to wing my way into being able to figure out how to write a website. And you know, people are asking you to go to conference. You're like, someone's going to come out and say, Craig, you are fucking full of it. You're doing this all wrong. Obviously, I've only ever competed with myself, and obviously I made a lot of money from it and all that. But again, there's just that kind of where you're like, there's going to be someone bigger and better that's going to come and crush me to the ground.
Or you just wonder when it's gonna, you know, when the music is gonna stop. I was watching this movie the other day, Margin Call. Great movie. If you want a good movie, go watch that movie. But in there, this guy kind of like, you know, I have this, I get paid to let people know when the music is going to stop. And it was like, or something along those lines. But it was like, yeah, we're just always waiting. When's the music going to stop? Right. So when is everybody running for the chairs or something? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of in the back of my mind. I'm just always waiting for someday it's going to.
But the key part of it all is what Joe's saying here. It's actually easier not to use AI or just type it yourself or transcribe yourself speaking. One of my next things, Joe, is to do a book. Now, I'm not going to sit and fucking write 30,000 words or whatever a book's going to have. I do not mind sitting talking shite into a dictaphone, and that transcribes that motherfucker into a book. So I think, you know, depending on how you use it is going to determine what you get out of it. But, you know, I think, you know, for me, can I use AI to help me because I don't like writing in that instance? The stories are mine, you know, the information is mine. I just want it to be done in an easier way because I just couldn't sit and type. It's just, I've not got the attention span for that shit. So I think it's right, Joe. You know, it's how you use it and tweak it, and you know whether you edit it. It's definitely not a copy and paste job. Joe's saying use that speech to note. Joe, I have tried so many of these fucking things, and it's the accent. A lot of the things are probably really good. The big problem is the fucking accent. So give me something that can help my accent.
And you're not even that bad. Did you see that image that Mark Solar, I don't know where the hell he is. I think he's over here in the States, maybe. He posted some image where he was in a Starbucks and he probably said his name and it came back as like Amok or something like that
it's
because of his accent.
I remember years ago, Randy, that I got this software called Dragon Dictate. And my idea, I'm talking like 10 years ago, my idea was to be able to speak into that to get it to write blog posts or content articles because it could speak better than I could type. And they said that you nurture this along and you keep feeding it your voice and it gets better and better. Dude, that motherfucker's still lying there unused. It's fucking unbelievable. So it didn't work.
I think that's funny.
Too well in my favor. But
all right. So the controversy, it's still controversy, right? We got different opinions on the AI content. How about this? Is Google still rewarding good content?
I mean, did they ever?
Helpful, high quality, user first content.
I mean, Google are taking our good articles and using it in their AI overviews and stuff. And, I think there is an element of that that's true. However, a lot of people go out there and say, oh, Google rewards and, you'll get all of these backlinks for your evergreen articles and all that stuff. I think that's fucking horse shit for the most part.
That's right. I do too, actually. I really do.
And listen, if an influencer was to put out the best fucking 10 SEO tips, sure, there's people that maybe share that around and, that might link to it and say, oh, fucking Neil Patel said or whatever it may be. However, you've got some fucking lead gen website that's for some locksmith in the back and beyond. How the fuck is that getting rewarded with some fucking natural backlinks and that content's going to be amazing? All you're basically saying is use me if you're fucking locked out the house. I mean, come on, man. Like some fucking horse shit, that one. And people still swear by it.
What else do you got to say, right? You're locked out of the house, use me. What else do I have to tell you? Yeah.
So that's a fucking myth and a half, that one. But there's always that counter argument where someone will say, but look at Neil Patel, he got fucking 5,000 links because of this long fucking winded pishy article that no one ever fucking read anyway.
Right.
And it can work for you, but not in the most part.
Who the hell is backlinking to Neil Patel? I have never cited or referenced him in anything that I've ever done. Have you?
No, but there are a lot of new people to the industry who don't know any better. And are like, oh, it's one of those things. All the newbies and stuff say, oh, Neil Patel said, or, so-and-so said. And you're like, really?
Oh, really? What?
Listen, I think Neil Patel, for what it's worth, is a very clever guy, and he's done very well for himself and everything else. But yeah, I think there are people who still cite him. I still see people citing even things like who are the best SEO speakers. Rand Fishkin, his name's still in there, and he's not been in SEO for a long time. So people are still citing this guy, and obviously he was, again, another guy who's obviously been very successful and very well known within the industry. But again, it's like me. When I spread a rumor about one of my friends that may or may not be true, that shit carries down the grapevine. It goes down the grapevine and people still fucking believe it. They're like, I don't know, you might have been joking about that part, but and before you know it, that shit just fucking sticks. I think it's similar with these guys as well. So they're just names are ingrained in the industry, and they don't even, Matt Cutts is another one. Matt Cutts still gets mentioned as, one of the so-called, big dog SEOs or whatever. I don't think the guy's been in the industry for 10 plus years.
I was going to say, I haven't even heard of him for a long time.
Yeah. A long time. So, how people cite that or whatever, I don't know, but people are still doing it clearly. So, but they they've got to grasp something, and I don't know if just Neil Patel's name's that far out there and stuff that of course he's going to get all the newbies and all the people to the industry just reading that website, because he's obviously put a lot of work into it. And
oh, sure.
Out there.
Yeah. All right. Next one on my list. Topical authority and internal linking matter more than backlinks.
I think that's horse shit. Again, I'm not dismissing, internal links or topical authority in any way, shape, or form. But if someone's saying that matters more than backlinks, I would, you need both. In all honesty, if you've got backlinks, my argument would be.
But if you were going to do one or the other, if you were like, hey, if I'm putting all of my chips on the table, I'm playing roulette, right? And it's going to be red or black, and you got to choose.
It would have to be backlinks, because that's where the power comes from in order to rank. Obviously, you want to use your internal links to push the power around your website to certain pages and all that stuff. And of course, you don't want to be talking about fucking locksmiths in one page and fucking flowers on the next. You want to try and keep the topical relevance there. But I think, if it's one or the other, and you've got a gun to the head, you could brute force stuff with backlinks. Backlinks would be the one I would choose.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would have to agree. Now, I'm really gonna on a website. Now, aside from you deviating, like the example you gave, you can't be a site about locksmith and then put content up about
2 seconds.
What do you got to go take a piss? What?
No, I need to answer the door.
Yeah. Excuse me, folks. Craig, his old man bladder got the best of him, had to run off and go take a piss. So don't hold it against him.
So I had to answer the door. Someone was at the door.
What are you wearing your winter coat in your house?
It's fucking freezing, dude.
Turn the heat up, brother.
Dude, the heating's on. Tell me. But
all right. So I was gonna say is that I don't give a lot of credence to, or I just don't pay much attention to topical authority. A lot of people do, but on a website, I'm not worried about like siloing and driving down, topical authority like that. I just don't.
But you do a lot of news websites. I mean, surely with your lead gen sites that you've got, you can't.
I'm not gonna say like, so on one of my home services site, we'll say the locksmith. I'm not going to say locksmith, blah, 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 and then put up an article about flower arranging, obviously. But I'm not going to like go locksmith and how to pick a lock and then write, 6 articles just on how to pick a lock.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Nah, fuck that. Joe's saying he doesn't pay much attention to press releases.
You should, Joe.
But nah, I think there's obviously counter arguments with that, Randy, as well, where people say, I don't need backlinks, I just use good internal linking and ranking this really shitty area that I'm targeting. So I think you've always got people who could argue the flip side of that coin on that one.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't really pay a lot of attention. I just don't put effort into like, I got to be sure I'm like building this thing. Now, years ago, I did when I was building out affiliate sites. And, that was very much, what kind of the approach, right? So like in my outdoor kind of survival sites and stuff like that. You know, like, oh yeah, you know, we're going to be talking about mountain climbing gear and crampons. You know, I was like all, you know, very much like we're going to be authority on here. That was the strategy, but I don't know that that strategy plays out in today's world as much.
Differs from niche to niche, right?
So you must disagree with me.
No, not necessarily. Like I say, there's always, the niches that I work in, for example, are like iGaming and stuff are really aggressive, really competitive, and I think some of these things you have to kind of do a bit more on. But there's certainly other niches that are a lot easier, and you don't have to focus on that stuff. And I always revert back to what Ted Kabaitis said: people do the least amount of work for the maximum amount of fucking money or output as possible. So I think there's a lot of things in the SEO space where do you want to spend too much time getting into this and that? When you don't see much value from it, don't do it. If you can rank without it, fucking
Right.
well, that's the job. And obviously, like I say, certain niches, certain markets, certain locations are easier to do that with than maybe other stuff that's more competitive where every box is ticked, like the iGaming space where you're like,
Right.
oh no, I need to fucking have better this, better that, whether it be internal links, silo structures, and everything else. So, but there's a lot of guys out there who've got fucking mass page spam websites that do really well, and you're like, do Google really give a fuck? It's and they've got an argument, do they? Because they're getting away with it. Mike and Brad, who used to come on, always said they used to shit out. Their wording, their vocabulary was, we just shat out another couple of websites today. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, just shitting them out and they're making money. Just shit them out, shit them out, shit them out. You're like, fucking, what's the point in even trying to do good work if you can make a fuck ton of money just shitting stuff out? So, but obviously that's the niche and the areas they're in. It's not always relative to what I'm doing. So, yeah, that's the so it's not about disagreeing. I just think every situation is probably slightly different.
Every niche is a little different. All right, all right. I was just trying to catch it, trying to kick some dirt on you, see if you were going to respond. All right. CTR. Work doesn't work. Horse shit. It is. The sun rises with CTR. What?
If it's done incorrectly, people will say it's horse shit. I absolutely believe that CTR is an important ranking signal, and if you can force traffic to certain pages and stuff on your website, then you're going to get the benefits from it. And it's not just about websites, whether it be your GMB listing, whether it's your YouTube, whether it be your social media platforms, those algorithms are all about engagement. And obviously CTR is all about manipulating that engagement. So I don't think anyone could, convince me otherwise. But I know there's guys that say, Craig, I tried fucking CTR and it didn't do shit. And you're like, well, what did you do? What tool did you use? And they're fucking trying to do 5,000 views with one shitty proxy and all this stuff. And you're like, dude, and you're not logging in and out of different accounts. They're just not got the right setup. So, I think there will be a lot of people out there who say CTR is a load of shite and have tried it and it doesn't work. My counter argument to people who say that would be you didn't do it properly. And again, all of the things that people have done over the years. They've bought their own proxy rigs, we've been out with mobile phones. Holly's been out with mobile phones. Everyone's, could agree to, a certain degree that there is something within the CTR, but we don't want to be running around with 50 or 100 phones like Holly did. So how do we automate that or make that happen without having to drive around? And that's where it starts to fall down, because there's not a lot of tools that can do that properly.
I know it. So do you think the CTR does CTR I think I got a call with Chris coming up here, and later today. Does CTR impact AI visibility, like AI overviews?
That I'm not sure of. I wouldn't imagine it would. At this stage, I think the general
That would
consensus.
be an interesting test. I don't know if I've seen anybody even kind of say like, I used, CTR booster and man, this is the results that we got in AI overviews.
The thing for me in my head is, Randy, how could the AI overview know how much traffic your page got unless you allowed them access to it? So, obviously AI is scraping the internet for content and information.
Right.
And for me, it would be more of a citation based thing. So, like we've spoken about many times, if a lot of websites are out there are saying Randy's the best press release guy or whatever it may be, then of course the AI overviews would pick that up. But me running traffic through websites that said that, would it make
I
a
don't know. That's it wouldn't seem that it would. And so if somebody came out with something like that, I'd be like, really?
difference?
Um,
Maybe further down the line it may become important, but I think for me, the kind of AI manipulation is clearly very easy. And you asked me a
yeah.
question earlier, Randy, and this is a fucking good one. Was there any golden nuggets from that conference? There was one.
Yeah.
There's a guy talking about AI manipulation, a guy called Alan Kladix. He's a French guy, and he's got who founded Google Search Console. It's him, according to AI. Who founded Google? It's him. God's honest fucking truth. And you're like, so it's clearly very easy to manipulate just now based on the
Oh
kind of
yeah. Yeah.
citations.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that can always be the case. Would they look into other things further down the line? Potentially. And would it be based on, I don't know, fucking the amount of search that something gets or whatever goes into clickstream data? I don't know. But I think it cannot just always be citation based, because motherfuckers are like him are saying that they own fucking Google Search Console. They own, Google itself. So yeah, it is a good question.
I think it is kind of crazy, but it is like how you can manipulate the AI overviews is, yeah. Now the question is getting the shit to stick. I think you can always get and hit it for a minute, right?
Yeah.
But can you get it to stick? That's the challenge.
Well, we had that conversation last week
Yeah.
in the mastermind where I think potentially some of the kind of spammy listicle stuff is maybe being devalued to some degree. Because obviously people were out there and they're putting like 40 of their mates on this thing with no corroboration, and it was pulling into the AI overview, and potentially that would be a bit of a problem. So they may cut down looking at listicles or whatever. But I know you guys in America were seeing something slightly different from what we were seeing
Right.
during the
Right.
conversation. So could have just been some kind of test or whatever from a Google perspective, just trying some different shit out. But yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Tommy Butler is saying, ask AI chat who's Scotland's top SEO. I mean, it certainly won't be me because I don't really push myself for that term.
I did it. Top Scotland SEO and A1 SEO Glasgow came up. Is that Tommy?
No, that's Graham Grieve.
Oh, that's Graham Grief. There we are.
But if you put in, I've just put in there. In fact, I'll show you. But it's obviously going to be a bit more personalised as well in certain situations. But it's going to show me that it's me. So who's the top SEO in Scotland? There you go. But obviously Graham and stuff go after that kind of stuff. But that's what I'm getting there. I don't really aim for Scotland or try and manipulate that. Better things to be doing than fucking around with that. Who's the best in Glasgow and who's the best in Scotland don't make any money. So
I was going to say, do you make any money off of that term? Do people in Glasgow spend money there?
I told Graham, actually. Graham's a good friend of mine. Years ago, he was like, "Oh, I'm SEO Glasgow." I'm like, "Listen, if you want to beat this guy, I'll give you a link from my fucking website to that as well. I'll help you push it up." And he's like, "What, do you not care about that?" And I'm like, "Absolutely no." He couldn't understand it at the start. And then he came back a couple of years later and he said, "I absolutely get why you don't waste your time with that search term. All it does is bring in low quality, low budget clients. I now understand why you let me take it." And I'm like, I mean, I don't really have services to sell anyway. I've had my time as an agency, so I was always happy to help my friend out. But he came back himself and he went, "I get it, Craig. Absolutely get it." And that's happened to me a few times because I've done the same with Gary Wilson. And he said the same thing. "Hey, Craig, I'm beating your ass for fucking SEO Glasgow." And I'm like, on you go. And they're like, "Why are you just rolling over and let me fucking beat your ass with that?" And again, they came back and went, I get it. So it's probably the same for you, Randy. SEO Ohio or whatever. It's all going to be fucking guys with £100 a month that can't do shit for. So yeah.
I rank locally. I try to. Well, I don't even try anymore. It's just I just have so much. Only because I'm local and I'm highly involved in the Chamber of Commerce. So, I want to be right, but it doesn't take a lot of effort to do that anymore. So, but otherwise, I don't do it because to drive business in, but I don't even know why I even mentioned that.
Actually, all of the leads. What we done for years is we used to just give the leads to Slorry and various other local people. Even Graham does that to a certain degree, where he's like, "I'm not a good fit for you, but go fucking speak to this guy or whatever." So it's always a new kid in the block that gets tossed the old lead from
toss the table scraps.
That's funny. It helps build them up as well, and then hopefully they can toss it down the line as well.
All right, so here's another one of my controversial topics. Google ranks brands and not pages.
I mean, it does clearly rank brands, but it also clearly ranks pages and not specifically websites. So that's kind of a weird one. I think brand search and everything else, in terms of trust signals.
Right.
I think brand plays a big important part in today's digital marketing kind of strategies. But Google have never ranked websites; that ranks pages, and pages within your website can rank, and that's what it's all about. So it's done on a kind of page by page basis. But I think building up your brand and getting traffic from everything bar organic. You want people to come on there going, the news guy, whether that's offline advertising, sponsorship deals, networking, your backpack, all of that stuff. I would absolutely say that is an important part of your business. Like, you've tested it. You're walking around at conferences with the LED panel in your backpack. People go, "Oh, hey, Annie, what's this press release shit?" and all that stuff. And you can't tell me that doesn't work. Of course it fucking works. It's just repetition.
So this is where I think that the conversation around this particular topic comes on is all of this focus on citations, right? On brand mentioning. Is that becoming more important than the actual effort to try to rank a specific page?
I think, I think, if people are, I think Google, I mean, obviously I'm thinking, I can't say categorically, but, do I think Google look at your brand search to give you a bit bit more power and authority because people are searching for your brand. Absolutely. Is it a kind of Google trust signal where outside people are searching for this brand and they're a real company that may have a van in the road, or they're seeing naturally what you would expect from a real business. Vans in the road, people are going to search from it, from various different platforms and whatever else as well. So I think that gives Google an inkling into this is a real person here. They're getting brand search, they're getting traffic from multiple sources. This is a legitimate business and not some crappy website that's been flung up with the old mass page spam approach, because obviously that is not what Google wants to have. So I think it's important to do that, and I've done that myself as well. Building up a personal brand, by speaking at events and doing YouTube and doing various other things. And I think it stood me in good stead as well, where I could switch my SEO website off tomorrow. I don't think it would really make much of a difference to my life, in all honesty.
Yeah, but don't you think as well then that brand flex, right? Like building up that brand, that essentially trickles down to then as Google sees like, oh, here's Craig Campbell SEO, Craig Campbell, not the country music singer, Craig Campbell, the SEO guy. Don't you think that trickles down then to your website and then the various entities associated to your brand? Like Google's like, to your point, you're like, oh, here's everybody's talking about Craig. Craig's being cited on all of these different high authority sites and blah, blah, blah. That Google's goes, well, this guy must be the real deal. Yeah. So let's give him a little more juice when we're ranking, when people search for, whatever, best SEO speaker, or, well, Craig Campbell's, he's the bomb, so he must be.
Well, as long as Google say it, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter whether anyone thinks it. But no, I think all of that's super important, and in today's day and age, I think with the whole EEAT and all of that kind of bollocks, I think that's what Google are expecting to see. But Tommy here is saying, what do you think about super niche domains, hand-registered submarinecharter.com and submarinehire.com, put sites up, left them for 4 months, and then had a phone call from Monaco asking about sold submarines, then checked out our sites, had over £5 million worth of inquiries, and he had hand-registered those domain names for 10 quid. I think that's a good move. I think super niche websites and getting traffic.
What do you mean hand-registered? What does that mean?
I mean, he's not... they're not aged or anything like that. He's registered them. They're not...
Oh, got it. Okay. They're just new domains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chuck them up. But I think, it's niche. I always say this, Tommy. People ask me all the time, Craig, what niches should I get into? How do I make money? You could literally fucking pick toenailclippings.com and some sick bastard will want someone's toenail clippings. Obviously, my advice to anyone, submarine charter or whatever it may be, if there's people searching for that and there's money to be made, I think, these really niche websites can do really well. And that's a kind of holy grail, if you like, Tommy. If you can find something that's a high ticket item, that the domain's available, and it's something bizarre like fucking submarine hire. Now, I don't know who's hiring submarines. I don't know who you're talking to, but
it sounds interesting though. I would consider chartering a submarine. That would be like, I want to go down in a submarine. I really do.
I think there's probably really rich and wealthy people out there who say, I've not experienced that before.
I want to do that rather than go to outer space. That's
it's a safer bet, right? It's a much safer bet. So I can understand why, but I think, you're always looking for these kind of weird and wonderful niches. And, I always tell a story when back in the day when we used to do the old Amazon affiliate stuff, we were always looking. I didn't really give a shit what the product was, as long as it was a higher ticket item. And one of the, some of the niches that we done were diesel generators. Now, you say why the fuck or what do you know about diesel generators? I know fuck all about them. But what I can tell you is that people pay thousands for a diesel generator, and there's not that many people competing for that search term. So, or hunting scopes was another one.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was my friend that was in the hunting scopes one, and I'm like, I checked the search volume, and obviously all of these hunters or the scopes,
Yeah.
dude, and they're worth a fucking fortune. The cost of that hunting scope is premium, and obviously probably rich guys doing their hunting in the weekend or for whatever. And there was a few quid in that, and it was relatively untapped. So that is the kind of holy grail, and obviously something like submarines and stuff like that, or anything that's high ticket. If you can do it, that is the holy grail, Tommy. So
Remember those days you used to get like 9, 11, 13% commission from Amazon?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That was the golden days when I was big into it, and obviously people always say, Craig, why did you give it up? Because I think it was the end of 2020 they cut it to 3.
oh yeah. They just like completely closed the door on that. I mean, it just didn't make any sense to even put any effort into something for a 3% commission.
I know you were trying to pile in at the end with a few different projects, and you probably came too late to the
Well, I was doing more direct affiliate, so like making agreements with actual producers and pulling product in from other sources, not Amazon. If I couldn't find a deal or get into a deal direct as a direct affiliate, then I would put up an Amazon link. But otherwise, yeah.
It's but I think a lot of people we had a good run at it, and obviously scaling up an Amazon affiliate website and you're able to flip it for up to 50 times its monthly revenue was insane times. But now the job for me, Tommy, is trying to find something like you're doing, and not everyone's got a creative mind to think a submarine hire. Some people just would never think of that. So fair play to you. And that's the answer I always want to give to people when they're like, what can I do? And you're like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I can tell you sell used panties or something very easy off the cuff. But that there is what you're trying to do. And
you say that, but there are some sick people that would probably buy that shit.
Oh, there is. Go check the search volume. Go fucking load up Ahrefs and check the search volume for that. So there's literally anything, but that there 50 grand a day to hire them. Submarines and stuff. That's what those sheikhs on their yachts are playing around with, for their toys. And if Tommy can squeeze his way into that, happy days, Tommy. So that's the holy grail there.
I would tell you, if I were starting an SEO agency again today, I would really spend a fair amount of time dialing in and thinking about a very specific niche to only target, to serve. Like there was a guy that I know that he only does spray foam insulators. So, and that particular service, I'm like, wow, I never really thought about spray foam insulation, but that is his agency, and he is just trying to be just the king in it. And I'm like, that's what I would do. I would go and look, and I don't know what it would be. I really would have to spend some time and like find some kind of service or market. Travis Weathers, he is like all movers, right? Moving SEO. He does it for movers. And I think, I think that would be the play. Just go be the king in that arena.
Yeah. Listen, even with digital PR or whatever you do, I don't think you necessarily need to sell hundreds of different products. You can probably double down like you have to a certain degree with the news guy and just make really good money out of that one very specific and well-structured and well-oiled machine. You don't have to be selling, fucking domain names or whatever else that you could potentially go and sell.
Right.
So I think too many people are always trying to to do too much and don't focus on becoming an expert in a very specific thing. And I think that's, like submarine hire or whatever, you could probably make yourself a right good few million a year, fucking around with that on an affiliate. So, or a kind of lead gen basis or whatever. So,
Yeah.
that's all.
Dude, that is a lead gen. Wouldn't that be if they're like 50,000 a day?
Yeah. And they're hiring them for a week at a time. So
can you imagine what you could get for a lead off of that? Like go sell that to somebody that actually does that service and sell it as a lead. Here you go. I'll give you, I'd charge $1,000 at least for a lead.
Fuck off for 50 grand a day.
Fuck off.
50 grand a day. So if someone wants that for a week, you've got your, 350 grand there and you're selling it for $1,000. I mean, it's got to be at least 20. Nah. I think you're doing your disservice.
Well, there I'm being cheap. All right. Let's see. Do I got another one? Okay, well, here's the one. I'll save this one for the last. This thing has been out forever, right? Is SEO dying or is it evolving?
Always evolving. There's always going to be something to optimize. Google is just one of what I would consider to be many different search engines, whether that be YouTube or whatever. And you're always trying to manipulate and optimize and get leverage up, and I don't think that's ever going to die. I think what is dead is the golden olden days where you threw up a one-page website and keyword-rich domain name, and everything just rolled into your lap. I think it's evolved.
I still think exact match domains, though, still
work relatively well, but I think it's a lot of people are just scared of evolving in technology and the AI and everything else, but there's still a lot of money to be made online, and you're still going to be calling it optimization. So I think it's very much evolving. There's still plenty of money to be made, and if you want to keep thinking it's dead, just send people.
All the better. Yeah. Everybody, SEO is dying. Come talk to me.
It's still very much there. And listen, also, people talk about AI, and I need to get into the AI search, and I need to be in there. I know people who have manipulated AI and are found for this, that, and the next thing. They're getting very little to no clicks from that at this present stage. It's taken 20 plus years for people to even get round to Googling something. SEO is not going to die overnight, that's for sure. It's obviously going to evolve, and I think it's best practice to learn stuff, get other traffic sources, learn how AI works, learn how to manipulate it, all of that good stuff. But I certainly don't see SEO being dead. There's still a lot of guys doing a lot of SEO and lead gen and everything else, and they're still thriving, regardless of what that narrative that's been pushed out.
I'm not kidding you. Lead gen stuff, I think, is so easy. I mean, I've shared this a number of times, but I have a specific niche that I do lead gen in, just as a little side hobby, and it just always every month I get my notification from the outfit that I sell my leads to. I'm like always stunned at how much they're depositing into my bank. I'm like, seriously, wow. I mean, it's
coming.
I'm just like, we really don't even do much with it. It's just stuns me. But anyway,
that's what you want, though. That's what you want.
It is, but it just kind of goes back to the point. Like, it is just easy to make money, I think, online. I mean, there's just get a little thought, put a little work into it, and man. Yeah. All right. Good talk today.
Controversies, we should do them more.
Wow.
But that is us. But before we do wrap up, folks, do check out the news guy. The logo is above and the link is below if you want to check out Randy and the PR service that he provides. So check that out as well.
Yeah.
And we'll be back at a slightly different time next week because the clocks change here. So we'll be back to UK time, 5 o'clock. It will still be the same time for you, Randy.
Well, I was going to say, I'm still going to be here at my time. So.
Yeah.
You're going to bend to my universe. I'm like,
sadly, a lot of the audience are from that US market. So got to play up to the audience.
That's funny. All right, Tommy. Good to see you, man.
See you later, guys.